It's time for another blistering report from the front lines of the cultural war for a constitutional America. And now, here's your host, Charles Benninghoff.
President Trump hosted Egyptian President Abdel el-Sisi for a state visit last week. The two leaders were in 100% agreement that the Muslim Brotherhood is a terrorist group and a threat to the world. But Egypt has banned the Muslim Brotherhood from operating within its borders, while the United States still allows Muslim Brotherhood members to plague our country with hateful rhetoric and terrorist pandering. That means that this is a perfect time for American patriots to demand that Congress finally follow through and designate the Muslim Brotherhood as a terrorist group. You have to ask some serious questions when thinking about this issue. When the international community and the president agreed that a foreign organization is a terrorist group worthy of being defeated and driven out, why is Congress taking so long to act on this issue? Are the representatives and senators afraid of this group? Today, I'll be talking about the Muslim Brotherhood and President el-Sisi's visit with President Trump, as well as el-Sisi's meeting with House and Senate leadership. I'll tell you about the Muslim Brotherhood Terrorist Designation Act, which is listed as H.R. 377 in the House. And I'll tell you how you, too, can get involved in this issue by speaking out to Congress and demanding that H.R. 377 be voted on and passed. So, why do we speak out to Congress? The reason is, it works. 1 year ago today, Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell and the Chairman of the Senate Judiciary Committee, Chuck Grassley, were both speaking favorably of confirming a judge named Merrick Garland to the Supreme Court. Do you remember them doing so? It was all over the mainstream media then. But I know time passes and memories fade, but here's an important issue. In fact, Senator Grassley was summoned to the White House for two separate closed-door meetings with Obama, and it appeared that he was ready to cave in and bring Garland up for a confirmation vote before the Senate. Obama, of course, had nominated yet another anti-Second Amendment, freedom-hating judge in Merrick Garland. And I'm very happy today to let you know that just a few hours ago, before I sat down to record this video, instead of having liberal Merrick Garland sworn in, instead, Justice Neil Gorsuch was sworn in as the newest judge on the U.S. Supreme Court. Hallelujah! Democracy in action. Citizen patriots, along with the Freedom Caucus, stood firm and refused to let the Senate GOP leadership grant Obama's choice of vote. It was because of patriots like you who were willing to speak out to the Senate against this ultra-liberal, even communistic Merrick Garland that Neil Gorsuch is the newest Supreme Court justice today instead of Garland. So speaking out to Congress works. And if the thought of making an impact on the future of America resonates with you, then please subscribe to this YouTube channel or sign up for my newsletters, or both. The Muslim Brotherhood, for those of you who don't know, is an international terrorist group that was founded in 1928 in Cairo, Egypt. The group's motto is, and I quote, "Allah is our objective, the Quran is the Constitution, the Prophet is our leader, Jihad is our way, death for the sake of Allah is our wish." Death for the sake of Allah is our wish. In other words, they want to go down fighting for their Allah. And they mean it. These are the guys that send out all these self-bombing people and blowing up folks all around the world, cutting off heads. The Muslim Brotherhood is a very nasty organization. In fact, the statement, "the Quran is the Constitution," should make everyone sit up and take notice of this group as well. It is not a peaceful community organization that Barack Obama described it through his 8 years of pro-terrorist regime. Senator Ted Cruz has described the Muslim Brotherhood, and I quote, "the key foundation stone for Sunni terrorism that has spawned both Al-Qaeda and ISIS, including, of course, the Islamic State and ISIL and all their other names, and an organization that Obama and the Clintons threw billions in U.S. currency, greenbacks. They threw billions at it so it could destabilize democracies and pro-American governments in the Mideast. Many Americans were unfamiliar with the Muslim Brotherhood prior to the so-called Arab Spring and 2011 and 12, when the Obama administration backed the group as it overthrew the elected governments in Egypt and Libya. The Muslim Brotherhood kicked the Egyptian government out of its office and installed its own leaders all over the country. And then it proceeded to burn Coptic Christian churches to the ground and slaughter Christians and any Muslims who did not agree with the Brotherhood's brand of global domination. According to reports by Egypt Daily News and Western journalism, here in the United States, the Obama administration then transferred $8 billion in cash to the Muslim Brotherhood as a bribe. The purpose of that bribe was to ensure that the Muslim Brotherhood would turn control of a large section of the Sinai Peninsula over to the terrorist organization Hamas, as I said, also formed by the Muslim Brotherhood. So Hamas could further threaten Israel's borders. Current Egyptian President Abdel el-Sisi was the chief of staff of the Egyptian military that led the successful coup to oust Obama's Muslim Brotherhood friends from power in Egypt. Since he's been in office, el-Sisi has restored peace to Egypt, largely by cracking down on and exterminating many members of the Muslim Brotherhood. And by cracking down on these Muslim Brotherhood terrorists, I mean he's put them in jail and thrown away the key, which is exactly what should happen to them. Just exactly like we do in the United States when somebody's convicted of terrorism. We put them in prison, throw away the key for their life. There's no difference. El-Sisi's government is democracy in action. And you know what? In light of war, sometimes drastic measures have to be taken. For example, during our Civil War, when the Republicans were fighting the slave-owning Democrats, Abraham Lincoln had to stop our civil liberties for a while. That's what it takes sometimes when you're trying to defeat tyranny. And you know, many of the Muslim Brotherhood leadership are still in prison. Some under sentences for death for having wantonly killed Egyptian Coptic Christians and having engaged in other war crimes. In his visit with President Trump, President el-Sisi described the brand of terrorism that the Muslim Brotherhood espouses as a satanic ideology, and indeed it is, direct from Satan. President Trump voiced the United States' support for Egypt as an ally in the fight against the Muslim Brotherhood and its surrogate groups, including Hamas, Al-Qaeda, ISIS, ISIL, IS, and whatever other alphabet soup names these terrorists want to adorn themselves with. El-Sisi's visit also included talks with the House Speaker Paul Ryan, Intelligence Committee Chairman Devin Nunes, and Foreign Affairs Committee Chairman Ed Royce. He also met with Mitch McConnell and other Senate committee leaders. The sole subject of el-Sisi's talks with Congress was the Muslim Brotherhood and the threat that the Muslim Brotherhood poses to the Middle East and indeed the rest of the world. My concern remains that the threat of the Muslim Brotherhood remains here and poses a great threat to the United States. The Quran is the Muslim Brotherhood's constitution, meaning the U.S. Constitution will be thrown out the window if the Muslim Brotherhood group ever succeeds in controlling America or any part of it. The biggest ally of the Muslim Brotherhood in the United States is the Council on American Islamic Relations, which is known as CAIR, C-A-I-R, Council of American Islamic Relations, CAIR. CAIR was an unindicted co-conspirator in the Holy Land Foundation trial, which resulted in 108 convictions of terrorists in the United States, and they were convicted for raising money for Hezbollah, another terrorist organization created by the Muslim Brotherhood. CAIR is recognized as a front group for the Muslim Brotherhood universally, and its sole power seems to be calling politicians racist if they ever say something truthful about Islam or the Muslim Brotherhood. We have to overcome this fear of CAIR in the members of Congress and convince them to pass H.R. 377, the Muslim Brotherhood Terrorist Designation Act. H.R. 377 now has 46 co-sponsors in the House. When we started this campaign, it had only 20 co-sponsors. Thanks to you and other activists that have followed this program, we've increased this 26 co-sponsors. We need more. Now that President el-Sisi has made the round speaking to Congress and President Trump has expressed his support to outlaw the Muslim Brotherhood, it is the perfect time for us to demand that Congress follow through and pass this bill. H.R. 377 directs the State Department to declare that the Muslim Brotherhood is an international terrorist organization. When H.R. 377 becomes law, Membership in the Muslim Brotherhood will be automatic grounds for deporting foreign operatives, including many federal employees who were given deep state jobs during the Obama tyranny. The law will also prevent CARE and other Muslim Brotherhood front groups from fundraising in the entire United States, so their biggest source of funds will be cut off. They'll be strangled at the throat. That'll be a great day. In recent years, Egypt, the United Arab Emirates, and Jordan have all banned the Muslim Brotherhood, as well as many other countries around. In fact, Syria banned the Muslim Brotherhood in 1980 when its members tried to assassinate the former president, Hafez al-Assad. The United Arab Emirates just sentenced a Muslim Brotherhood operative to 10 years in prison, according to Gulf News, because the man was setting up propaganda websites and socialist media accounts to stir up unrest in that country. Russia has banned the Muslim Brotherhood, as well as Great Britain, and there they have an effort underway to kick its clerics out. Why hasn't Congress taken action by declaring the Muslim Brotherhood a terrorist group? I gotta ask. We gotta have an answer. I think it's because they fear CARE and other groups that will publicly call them racist if they speak out against Muslim Brotherhood. You know what? There's nothing in that name. That's a fear we all have to overcome, and we need to tell Congress that they don't have to fear the name being applied against them when that name comes from CARE or the Muslim Brotherhood or any other adjunct of the Muslim Brotherhood. We need as many patriots as possible to speak out to Congress, starting with the House Judiciary Committee in favor of H.R. 377. Here's how you can help. Go to our action page today where you can send personal letters directly to Congress. You can use our patent-pending GEM system, which is a really easy system to operate and which stands for Grassroots Enterprise Message System. It sends a beautiful letter directly to the offices of multiple representatives and senators. It sends it all at the same time. You just have a few steps and off it goes. Bob Mallory will have instructions on the next screen explaining how to get to the action page, so stay tuned. This is Charles Benninghoff, signing off and wishing you freedom, fulfillment, and God's many blessings.
If you're on our action page on our website, use the form next to the video screen to select a program and send personal letters to Congress. If you're watching this on YouTube or Facebook, click the icon appearing now to find the link to our action page, or check the video's description to find the link. Speak out today.